This video is intended for deer hunters. The reason we want to pull the jawbone is so we can estimate the age of the deer by looking at the tooth wear. Knowing the approximate age of all of the deer that we harvest is important to know so we can learn some important things about our deer herd. One of those things is that we can get a feel for the age structure of our deer herd. If you find yourself harvesting deer of various age groups, then that is a good sign that your age structure is spread out amongst younger deer and older deer. On the other hand, if you find yourself harvesting mostly fawns and yearlings, 1.5-year-old deer, then you probably don't have many older deer because of these young deer being shot. If you are making an effort to not shoot any fawns or yearling deer, then you will probably have more older deer on your property than properties that actually harvest fawns and yearling deer. Having these older bucks will probably equate to having bigger antlered bucks. I hear people mention every year that they had shot a doe or had shot a big antlered buck that they wish they had known how old the deer was. So pull the jawbone and have someone age it for you. Most state deer biologists will be happy to age the jawbone for you. Please read my article, How Old Was That Deer That You Harvested?, where I cover the various reasons why knowing the age of your deer is important. At this point, if you are not a hunter, then you may want to hit the back button to exit this video. Some non-hunters may find this video disturbing, showing a dead deer and the process of removing the jawbone. If that is the case, please exit now. Let me now continue. You have heard the old saying, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Well, there are different methods to remove a jawbone. I am going to cover the two methods that we use to extract the jawbone. Please note that we are pulling the jawbone so we can age it based on tooth wear and not to have it sent to a lab to have it tested, a process known as cementum annuli. The first method that I will show you, which is the easiest method to do, involves just cutting the jawbone out. We simply need a knife and a pair of loppers. Every hunting camp should have these. Let me emphasize that we are going to be cutting the hide, so if you are planning on mounting this deer, or you just want to save the hide around the jawbone, then do not use this particular method. The first thing that I do is to cut the hide parallel to the lower jawbone back towards the ear. The lower jawbone actually extends further back than where the mouth ends. I then run the blade of the knife against the outside of the lower jawbone to remove all of the hide and skin. I do this towards the back of the jawbone, and then I also do this towards the front of the jawbone. I then run the blade of the knife on the inside of the lower jawbone to cut away any skin that is attached. I also do this towards the back of the jawbone and towards the front of the jawbone. When I have all of the hide and skin cut away from the jawbone, I use the loppers to cut the jawbone near the back. I then use the loppers to cut the jawbone near the front. You can now pull the jawbone out of the mouth. You can now cut away any excess meat that may still be on the jawbone and rinse it off. I like drying it and then writing the season and deer number on it so I know which deer it belonged to. If you leave it outside exposed to the weather, Mother Nature will clean it up for you. Just make sure you secure it so a varmint doesn't take it. The second method we use involves using a jawbone extractor tool. Using this tool, you don't have to cut the hide at all. Let me point out that if you're going to mount this deer, then you can simply ask the taxidermist to save the lower jawbone for you. If you don't want to wait for the taxidermist, then you can use this method to pull the jawbone and not hurt the hide. You will need a pair of loppers and the jawbone extractor tool. If the deer has been dead for a while, then it will probably have lockjaw. Use the extractor tool to open up the mouth by forcing it into the mouth between the front teeth and the first jaw teeth. Rotate the tool to pry open the mouth. The more you can get the mouth open, then the easier the jawbone removal will be. Use the rounded end of the tool and force it down the side of the mouth between the lower jawbone and the hide. As you force it downward, also twist it back and forth to force it to almost under the ear. Insert the loppers into the deer's mouth with the curved blade facing inward and push the blade in parallel to the jawbone. If you have trouble with the mouth staying open, then use the tool to hold the mouth open and insert the loppers through the tool. Open the loppers and push them behind the last teeth. If you angle downward, you may accidentally cut some teeth on the lower jawbone. Cut the jawbone vigorously and twist the loppers after you cut. Now pull out the loppers. Now push the round end of the tool to the back of the jawbone and through the cut you just made. Place a foot on the deer's neck, antlers, or ears to hold the head down while you pull the tool out. The tool should slide out underneath the jawbone. Pull hard and the extractor should slide out the underside of the jawbone and actually pull the jawbone completely out. Occasionally the tool will get stuck right at the front incisors, in which case I will simply cut the jawbone with the loppers right behind the front teeth, but make sure you don't cut the hide if you are going to mount this deer. I want to thank my nephew Lee for doing this demonstration. I hope you found this video useful, and thanks for watching. If you have not done so already, please go to our website and watch the video called "The Buck We Nicknamed Piebald." We actually got video of him for all 5 seasons of his life.